math workshop today on number 1. This problem is actually really, really easy, but it has a lot of math vocabulary. It has a lot of math language in it, which makes it a little bit harder. So I want us to kind of talk about it a little slowly and go over it. So it says, which part of the expression? Guys, an expression is just this math problem. It's just a fancy way of saying which part of the math problem. Okay? So which part of the expression below can be viewed as an even number? Remember, even numbers are like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We're good with even numbers? We know what that is? Okay. If the variables are letters, so this means my letters represent integers. What are integers? Raise your hand, please. What are integers? Anyone remember that word? An integer. Javon, what do you think?
Like the variable?
So the variable is the letter. An integer can't be a variable. Maribel? It's a number. In fact, it's a whole number. That means it can't be a fraction, okay? So this is just saying which of these problems is an even number if the letter represents a number, any number. So my letter could be 3. My letter could be 14. My letter could be B, but remember my letter is going to tell me the letter. We can't choose the letter. But my letter can be any number out there. Are y'all okay with that? All right. So if I look at choice A, so choice A says, hey, in this problem, I just want to talk about T. So we're only going to look at T, which is a letter that can be any number. Y'all okay with that? T. Does it have to be an even number? Because we want to choose the one that's going to be an even number. Does T have to be an even number? Give me an example of when T could be an even number or when it could not be an even number if you disagree. When could T not be an even number? Does it tell me what T is, guys? No, so T can be anything. Does that mean it has to be even? No, T can be anything. So can T be 3? Yeah. Can T be 11? Yeah. So T can be odd. Does it have to be even? No, it's just a letter. Guys, A is not an option. Remember, we want it to be an even number. Just a letter by itself doesn't mean it's even because a letter can be anything. Do y'all understand that? What about 3 times T? Is this going to give me an even number? Is this going to give me an even answer? 3 times T. Remember, T can be anything. So think about it. What numbers could you make T and see if it would work? Julietta, I see you shaking your head. What's making you say no? You can multiply by anything. So when would it not work? Give me an example of when would it definitely be a no?
Like 3 times 3.
3 times 3. If I let T be 3, 3 times 3 is 9. Is that even? No. What else could I let T be? Javon? 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Now is that one even? Yeah, so you can get an even number. What are some other examples when it wouldn't work? What's another number that T could be where it wouldn't work? Camilla? $11. So 3 times 11 is 33. And is that even? No. So do y'all agree B is not going to always be even? So 3 is not always going to be even. Chris, up at the front, okay? All right, now C. C says n plus 3. Is this going to be an even number? N plus 3. Is that going to be even every time? Give me an example. Yes, no, why? Javon? So here, look, it's n plus 3, right? So that would mean 3 plus 3. What's 3 plus 3? 6. So that is even. So 3 does work. Is there a number that I could use that doesn't work? Maribel? 2. What's 2 plus 3? 5. Is 5 even? No. So is n plus 3 going to give me an even number every time? No. So n plus 3 is not always even because if I plug in like 2 or if I plug in 4, 4 plus 3 is 7. That's not even, is it? All right. Let's look at D. So hopefully this one works because none of the other ones have. What do you see as different about D that might make this always be even? Kelsey? Do y'all see where it says 2 times that letter plus something? If I multiply something times 2, is it always going to be even? You can sit behind Brandon. Yes. 2 times 5. 10. It's even. 2 times 8. 16. It's even. 2 times 3. 6. It's even. 2 times 2. 4. It's even. It's always, always even. So that's going to be the best choice because we're multiplying by 2. It's going to give me an even number. Y'all okay with that? So that one looked really, really confusing at first. Does that make sense how we're able to kind of break it down? All right. Let's look at number 4. And I'm going to need y'all's help, my calculator gurus out there, okay? I'm going to need your help. So this says, which value makes the inequality true? So that's basically asking us which one works. All right? So do y'all see where it says 4 times t plus 1 is greater than 3 times t plus 2.5? What does A tell me t has to be? Kelsey? 0.25. So using my calculator, I'm going to pull mine up here. All right, I want you doing it as well so we know what we're doing. It says 4 times t. So I'm going to type in 4 times, instead of writing t, I'm going to put 0.25. Are y'all okay with that? That's what it says, right? And then just to make sure it goes in the right order, I'm going to go ahead and push enter. Now what does it say I need to do? Plus 1. So I'm going to do plus 1 and push enter. And what do I get? 2. So on that side I get 2. So I'm going to write down 2. Are y'all okay with that? What symbol was next to that? The greater than symbol. Okay, so we have my greater than symbol. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Instead of writing 3 times t, I'm going to put in my calculator 3 times 0.25. So 3 times 0.25, push enter. What does that give me? 0.75. What do I still need to do, love? Plus 2.5. And what does that give me now? Kelsey? 3.25. Okay, so I want us to look at that alligator. Is that one eating the right number? No. So is that a good answer? No. So let's mark out A. Okay. Do y'all see how I set that up and worked it out? Alright. I want you to try B. I want you to try B, and I want you to key that in, and I want you to tell me what do you get when you do 4 times 0.75, and then when you add the 1 to that. So someone key that in and tell me what you get. I'm going to give everyone a chance. Ethan, what did you get? 4. Do y'all agree? 4. Well, let's see. 4 times 0.75 equals that plus 1. I got 4. Did you remember to do your plus 1? Plus 1. After you do 4 times 0.75, remember you got to do plus 1. Okay? 4 should be what we get. We just got to do our plus 1. Keep our alligator symbol. And now we need to do it to the other side. So let's put in 0.75 on the other side and see what we get. Give everyone a second to put that in. So you're going to do 3 times 0.75, and then you're going to do plus the 2.5. Okay. What does that one give me, Noah? 4.45. Okay? Is this one true? Do I need to check it? 3 times 0.75 equals plus 2.5 equals. I got 4.75, so double check. Yeah, so double check that math real quick for me, Noah, okay? So I got a 7 here, 7, 5. All right, guys, is that true? Is the alligator eating the right number? No, 4 is still smaller, so is B going to work? No, so let's mark it out. All right, C, same thing. 4 times 1.25 this time, plus 1. Carlos, can you type that in for me and tell me what we get? Did you remember to add your 1 this time? Okay, I agree. So 6 greater than, and now we're going to do the same thing with 3t. Gabby, can you type that one in for me? So 3 times the 1.25, and then add 2.5 to it. All right, let me see your calculator real quick. Let's see what we got going on there. Got something funky happening. Okay, so what happened? So here you did 3, that's 12.5. We needed 1. We got our decimal in the wrong spot. 1.25. Okay, now add your 2.5 to it. Okay. All right, what did you get? Alana, did you type that in for me? What did you get? Let me see your calculator. Bring it up here real quick.
I got 10.
All right. Shh. Let it be there. Okay. So let's see. Cool. All right. Do you see where you put 125? Like it's 1.25. Okay. So type your decimal in correctly. Let me see yours, Chris, real quick.
I just erased it.
I can go back. I got you. I got skills on these calculators now.
Sure.
All right. So what happened here is you did 6. That should have been 3 times the t. So we needed a 3 there. All right, Hunter, what did you get?
6.25.
6.25. That's what I'm looking for. 6.25. So guys, y'all notice we're getting a little bit closer, aren't we? But is the alligator getting the right number? No. So guys, before I circle D, because I could have to mark out all of them. All right, before I circle that, let's try it. Has anyone typed that one in? What does it tell me, Truett?
Get
8 greater than, what do I get on the other side?
7.75.
7.75. Do y'all agree? Now, is that one true? Yes. So that is the answer that I want. Make sure you circle it, guys. I told you I'm not going to circle them. We basically worked all these out for you, all right? Make sure you circle your correct answer. If you'll put your homework out, I'll check it out. All right. So, guys, the next thing we need to do is check our homework. So if you will please make sure you have your homework out on your desk. Is there anyone who was not here yesterday? Anyone who's not here yesterday? Okay. Perfect. All right. We are going to check these real quick. Guys, even the ones, we did a couple of these in class together. Even if we did it in class together, I want you checking them, okay? So I'm going to pause my recording so we can check homework and go over it. What's that? Oh, please, thank you. What is it? Perfect. Thank you, Tony. Awesome. Appreciate that. All right, make sure you're updating your table of contents, please. Ladies, table of contents. Table of contents. Get that going for me. All right, table of contents. Raise your hand if you're still doing your table of contents. All right, guys, we need to do this quickly. If we're up here and we don't have a table of contents, everyone's waiting. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put our definitions up there so we can get started. If there's time at the end of class, I'll put our table of contents back up there. If not, we will put it up there again tomorrow to make sure that we got that. Here's the big thing, guys. Make sure our notes for today are labeled number 3, please. Notes for today are labeled number 3. All right, I'm going to move that countdown out of the way. All right. I'm going to give you a moment to copy down the notes that are up there. copy down the definitions. So let's copy our vocabulary, and then I'll talk about it so we're not trying to do two things at once. All right, so make sure you're writing those definitions. Try to get this calculator away, okay? Do our definitions right now. Make sure guys, I highlighted some things to make sure that we didn't forget to write them down. So up at the top where it says center, got 1, 2, and 3. Those 3 things are called central tendency. So don't forget this part over here that I circled. Make sure we don't forget to write that down. Yeah. Right over here in this circle. Don't forget to write that. All right, on the vocabulary. All right, the mean, we talked about this yesterday. So central tendency is finding the center. There are 3 different ways to find the center in statistics. Central tendency can be the mean, it can be the median, and it can be the mode. So whenever you hear the word central tendency, I want us to think mean, median, and mode. All right? The mean we talked about yesterday is the average. This is where we add all the numbers and then divide by the amount. The median, guys, the median is really the most literal center because the median is the middle number. Now I want you to notice what's highlighted here. It says they must be in order. Guys, if they're just random, then the middle number is random and it doesn't tell me anything. So we've got to put them in order. And it tells me sometimes there might be 2 numbers. If there are 2 numbers in the middle, we're going to add them and divide by 2. Okay? Hearing a lot of shuffling. If we can sit still and focus for just a few minutes, all right? The mode is the number that's there the most. If all the numbers are only there once, we're going to have no mode. If we haven't, sometimes we can have more than one mode, and we're going to look at some of that. We might have some of those on our homework. So remember, if it looks weird, you can have no mode. That's okay. If you have something that, like 2 numbers that both are there 3 times, you could write both of them down as the mode, okay? The last thing is the range. The range is not central tendency. The range does not tell me the center. It tells me how far apart the numbers are. So it tells me how much they're spread out. All right? The way that we find it is we do the largest number minus the smallest number. All right, we're going to practice finding this today. We'll talk more about those definitions again tomorrow. All right. So on number 1, to find these, we got to label it. So I'm going to do my mean first. I need to find my mean first. All right, guys. If you don't label it, I don't know what math you're doing. Okay, you got to label it. So write that down on your paper. To find the mean, we've got to add them all up. That was part of our definition. It says add them all up. So when I add them, I get 80. And then it says divide by the number of numbers. So what am I going to divide by here? Carlos? How many numbers are there? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to divide by 5. 80 divided by 5 gives me 16. So that's my mean. Today, guys, our focus today is being able to calculate. That's really what we're going to focus on. We'll talk more about some of the meanings later. All right. Next, we're going to do the median. Now, a lot of people they find it easy to remember the median as the middle, but what they forget to do is to put the numbers in order. We've got to do that first. So when I put them in order, I think it's easiest to go from small to big. If you want to go from big to small, can you? Sure. It's just a little bit harder for our brain. So what's the smallest number here? Javon? In my list. 0 isn't in the list. 4. All right. What's going to be next? Shrit?
17.
Then? And we're going to need to write both of those numbers. If it repeats, you write both of them. All right. So, Chris, what number's in the middle? It would help if you had this written on your paper. There's nothing to calculate here, Chris. You're just looking at these numbers and telling me which one is in the middle. 19. Okay? So you were kind of zoning out on me there. Focus for me, all right? The next thing I'm going to do is the mode. All right? Remember, the mode is the one that's there the most. Which number is there the most, Tony?
The most, 20.
20. So my mode is 20. Mode is my favorite because I don't have to do any math. All right? And it's easy to remember because mode and most sound the same. All right, then the last one is my range. All right, looking back at that definition, what does it tell me to do for the range? Kenna?
How far apart the numbers are?
Okay, and what does it tell me to do underneath that?
The largest number minus the smallest.
The largest number minus the smallest. So what was the biggest number here, Owen? And the smallest? So we're going to do 20 minus 4, and that gives me 16. Now, guys, you'll notice 2 of these answers were the same. That's okay. That's not always going to happen. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. We don't care. All right? Are you okay with how I found the numbers? All right. Maribel? The mode, it's just whatever's there the most. 20 is there twice, so it's there the most. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 2. We're going to do the mean again.
That's just a math word that means the most.
It's just another way of saying it in math. All right. When I look for the mean here, do y'all see how I don't have any numbers? So, guys, I'm going to have to interpret that graph. So I'm going to have to pick a number for comedy. What number does this graph say comedy is going to have? Chris? 4. What number does the graph say action is going to have? Hunter?
Like around 5 or 6.
It's going to be 5 because it's between 4 and 6, right? So it can't be 6. It's in the middle. So 5. Truett, what's the romance going to be?
6.
6. What's drama going to be? Kelsey? 1. And what's the sci-fi going to be? Tony?
High five.
What number is sci-fi going to be when I follow it over?
Oh, would it be like 3?
It's not going to be 3. 3's right here. So look at your paper in front of you. It might be easier to read there.
You said 4.
It's going to be 4.
You said it.
I said 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 3. My bad. 4 was correct. I'm sorry, Tony. All right. So now we're going to do the mean, so we need to add them up. When we add them all up, Kelsey? 20. All right. What am I going to divide by this time? What am I going to divide by, Gray?
Oh, God.
You got this.
Not really.
5. Told you. All right. You got it. All right. So 20 divided by 5, because there are 5 numbers. What do I get, Camilla? 4. All right. For the median, what's the first thing I need to do? See if someone can remind me. What do I need to do first, Hunter?
List all the numbers down.
List the numbers in order.
Lowest to the greatest.
Biggest to smallest, in order. All right. So what's in the middle there, Carlos?
4.
4. Perfect. Okay. Those match. Is that okay? Yeah, we don't care. All right, what's the mode going to be here? What is my mode, Camilla?
6.
Not 6. It's the biggest, but it's not the one there the most.
4.
4. 4 is there the most. Remember, it's not the biggest. It's the one that's there the most. All right, for my range, Sean, can you help me out? What do I do to find the range?
You take, 4 minus 4.
Not really, because it says the biggest. What's my biggest number?
Oh,
6 minus the
4.
smallest,
Oh,
1. So 6 minus 1, biggest minus smallest is 5. All right, number 3, same concept. We're doing the mean. The mean means we got to add them up. When I add them up, I'm going to go ahead and write it in. When I add them up, I get 40. What am I going to divide by this time, Amaya? 8. Perfect, because it's 8 numbers that we added. So we divide by 8. 40 divided by 8. Count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Trip. You get 5. All right. The median. All right. I'm going to give you a little hint, a little bit of help, okay? There are more numbers here, aren't there? It's harder to keep track of it the more numbers there are.
You need to go down.
So I'm going to, thank you. So I'm going to start with the smallest number, which is 3. And after I write it, I'm going to mark it out. So at the end, I can just look and see, did I mark out all the numbers? Did I write them all down? So after 3, what is there, Hunter?
4, then 4, then 4.
All right, so pause. So Hunter said 4, 4, and 4. So guys, I'm going to make sure I mark out all of those 4s so I know I included them all. All right, what's going to come next, Kelsey? 5, mark it out. Then 6, then we're not ready for 8 yet. Look, see how I've marked them out? I have another 6. Guys, do you see how marking them out makes it easier to find my numbers as I get higher? Okay. All right, what do you notice happens in the middle here? Owen?
4 and 5 in the middle.
There are 2 numbers in the middle. So what we're going to have to do is we're basically going to find the average. We're going to add them together. 4 plus 5 is? So I'm putting a little plus sign there. That gives me 9. How many numbers did I add? 2. So what am I going to divide by? 2. So divided by 2 gives me 4.5. Okay, and you can use your calculator to divide that if you need to. Okay. What's my mode? This one can be a little tricky. What is my mode here? Sean? What about the 6? Is the 6 a mode? No, because 4 is there 3 times, which is more than the 2. Hold on. We got to do the range. The range, the big number, 8 minus 3 gives me 5. Guys, read the directions on your homework. Some of them say mean, median, mode, and range. But some of them only say median, mode, and range. Read the directions. It's at the bottom in your book. Okay, good.